Hey guys, Sean here, going to explain to you how to answer this function question correctly. So we have this passage from Madison's Federalist paper number 1. Let's just start from the beginning. It says, the interest of the man must be connected with the constitutional rights of the place. It may be a reflection on human nature that such devices should be necessary to control the abuses of government. But what is government itself but the greatest of all reflections on human nature? If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls on government would be necessary. Now let's break this down a little bit. We're looking at this, I kind of made this a little thicker because I underlined too much. So this is the sentence that we're considering, the underlined sentence. Now, in this first blue sentence, it may be a reflection on human nature that such devices, these devices are referring to the constitutional rights. Such devices should be necessary to control the abuses of government. But what is government itself but the greatest of all reflections on human nature? Now, because of the previous sentence, Madison's suggesting that devices like constitutional rights, maybe these are necessary and it's a reflection on human nature that we have to consider these devices to control the abuses or potential abuses of government. Then he asks this pretty rhetorical question, because afterwards he gives this hypothetical scenario. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls of government would be necessary. But this is not true. Obviously, men are not angels, and angels don't govern men. So it suggests, it's a kind of a rhetorical question that suggests that government is the greatest reflection on the fallibility of human nature. And this fallibility is kind of illustrated in the last two sentences, because men are not angels and angels don't govern men, which is why these devices are probably necessary. And that's why thinking about the things that the parameters of government or how to make a government are probably the greatest reflections on life. So we're looking for something along the lines of this. It's a rhetorical question suggesting that government is the greatest reflection on the fallibility of human nature. And Alpha says it implies that both men and governments are capable of abuse, which would represent this fallibility, explaining the necessity of the conditions described in the following sentences. Now, these are not necessarily necessities of the government itself. These are just kind of like conditional statements. So I think that's what it means by these conditions. When we look at Bravo, it offers a question that neither men nor governments are capable of answering. No, it's a rhetorical question, so that's why Bravo doesn't work. Charlie, it compares governments to men, revealing governments to be the greater abuser. This comparison doesn't happen. There's nothing in the passage that suggests that one is a greater abuser than the other. And Delta is wrong because there's no condition that makes the institution of government unnecessary. In fact, it shows probably why government is necessary, since in this passage, men are not angels and government is not run by angels. So that's why Delta doesn't work, and Alpha is the only answer that works. Got it? Good.